جل جلاله تنزه عن خلقه بجمال الله.
يا فعال يا سامع من يتعال الله.
وجب القدم وضده محال تقدس اسمك يا متعال الله.
جل جلال الوجود يا أبدي يا واحد في ذات وأحد يا الله.
أنا في الند وأنا في الولد يا أول وآخر فرد صمد يا الله.
القرآن كلامك أزلي لا حادث ولا له مثل يا الله.
بحقه دع كلام العدل لا جبري ولا معتدل يا الله.
الاستوى معلوم والكيف مجهول وإيماننا به مجبول الله.
قال في المنقول سؤال لبدع به يزول الله.
أنشأت في الفضاء سحابا وسقت لنا مطر صبابا الله.
أحيا العبد نخيل وعناب وهذا عطاء بغير حساب الله.
جعلت الشمس سراج وهاج وسبل الأرض لنا فجاج الله.
أنا يا الليل بطلب الحاجة وكون عقل الحسن علاج الله.
جعلت الليل لنا والنهار وآيات تنتج الأفكار الله.
كل كوكب يجري في مدار وعلماء الفلك فيه حياة الله.
ثلاثة عذر حكى خضر عن موسى وبلغت
Major Sudanese Sufi orders. An introduction. This is a new episode that brings us further on our coverage to Sudanese Sufism and Sufi orders. However, the major turuq in the country, along with its basic purpose and objective, as well as the characteristics and features that these turuq have in common, followed by the speech on centralized and decentralized nature of these turuq, will be the center of our meeting today. The following are the main Sudanese turuq according to the descriptions of the historians and researchers in the field. Keep in mind that these turuq encompassed all of the country geographical regions. The Qadiriya Sufi order consider the most widespread Sufi tariqa in Sudan. And this tariqa, by the way, includes many other different and famous widespread branches and centers at the end affiliated to the very same tariqa. For example, among the Qadiriya branches there is the Arakiyun Sufi order branch. We have also the Mukashfiya, another very important Qadiri center. Adding to that, the Badrab of Sheikh Muhammad Badr of Umbuamban, another very famous branch and center of the Qadiriya affiliated to the Qadiri, and Sadgab. Sadgab, by the way, attributed to Sheikh Muhammad al-Hamim Abdul Sadiq, and Sheikh Muhammad al-Hamim Abdul Sadiq is the first Sudanese to be initiated into Sufi order, mainly the Qadiriya. The Kabbashia center that is attributed to my master Sheikh Ibrahim al-Kabbashi, and we have the branch of Sheikh Hassan al-Husuna, and also we have the branch of Sheikh Idris al-Arbab, and finally we have the center of Kadabas, very influential and important Qadiri center in the northern part of Sudan. So this Qadiri center, These Qadri centers, by the way, is not connected with only one sanad in Sudan. Rather, we find that there are 5 sanads that constitute these branches of the Qadiriya. But in the final conclusion, all of them come together to be connected and linked with the founder of the Tariqa, my master Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani. So among these 5 sanads of the Qadiriya, we find the Qadiriya of Kadabas. It's sanad connected with Sheikh Abdul Rahman al-Khurasani, the Qadri branch of Al-Arakiyin and the center of Sudan, attributed and linked with my master Sheikh Habib al-Ajami. And then we have the sanad of the Buhariya, the sanad of the Sadgab, attributed and connected with my master Sheikh Tajuddin al-Buhari. So as I said, 5 sanads that make up the Qadiri branch of the Sudanese Qadiri Sufi order. Another important major Sudanese Sufi order is the Samaniya, then the Tijaniya, the Khatmiya, the Idrisiya, the Hindiya, the Azmiya, Ahmadiyya Sutuhiya, Ahmadiyya Marazga. By the way, Ahmadiyya Sutuhiya and Ahmadiyya Marazga attributed to my master Sheikh Ahmad al-Badawi. Then we have the Ismailiya, then we have the Shadiliya, we have the Mayzubiya, and then we have the Burhaniya. So these, by the way, are the major Sudanese Sufi orders, and within each one of these major turuq, there are many centers attributed or affiliated to the main center of the order. Many paths with one single goal. Sufis see no problem with the multiplicity of Sufi orders. There were non-dictate goals. There are as many paths to God as there are souls on earth. The rule is that while the orders vary in their methods, they agree with regard to basic principles and objectives. If the multiplicity of juristic doctrines is legitimate, that is all the more reason for there to be numerous and diverse Sufi orders or spiritual doctrines, given Sufism very linked to personal Gnostic experiences. Most Sufis say that the different turuq are merely different paths to the same goal, just as the spokes of a wheel all lead to the hub. All turuq emphasize the purification of the ego, nafs, and the elevation of the soul, ruh, in order to draw near and closer to God, the beloved. All turuq stress fulfillment of furud, that is basic religious duties such as the daily prayers, as prescribed in the Sharia, and emphasis refinement in word and deed. For more information in this area, see Michael Freshkopf, Tarab in the Maistic Sufi Chant of Egypt, 2001. The diversity of the Sufi orders, schools, and chains of spiritual transmission, sanads, is arguably one of their most notable characteristics in Sudan. Through its several chains of transmission, the Qadri Sanad is the most well-known, oldest, and widely disseminated in the entire country. According to Uthman Nouri Tobaz, the aim of the Sufi way is impart the zest of morality onto the heart of a believer, This for mercy, affection, generosity, forgiveness, and gratitude. Sufism emerged as spiritual revolution which aimed at reforming the nafs, disciplining it and purifying it of its vices and imbuing it with virtues in order to attain complete faith or iman. And the rank, in addition to the achievement, the rank or the reaching to the rank of ihsan, and the status or the maqam of ihsan, by the way, is Sufism itself. That is because Islam, as we know, that Islam consists of three levels. That is Islam, Iman, and Ihsan. So Sufis, they try to achieve and realize Ihsan, to reach the status of Ihsan, which is found there in their saying, is to worship Allah as if you see him. If you didn't see him, then he see you. In his study about Sufi orders in Jordan, the researcher Muhammad Abu Rumman, in his study 2020, stated that despite the differences and variations among the orders, the turuq, some common attributes make up a universal general framework. According to him, number one, each order had the sheikh of the order. In this, every order had a sheikh, the person who instituted its principles and rules, who is considered the order primary authority. Then would come other shuyukh and renewals that brought new ideas to the order and took a branch of the order in that direction. Number two, the society of the order. Every order had a particular model or form for the relationship between shuyukh and the followers or murids. The sheikh has a special spiritual intellectual standing among the order's followers, and many view their shuyukh or the sheikh as the senate, wali, or a friend of God with the capital F, or the chief senate of the age, that is hope, literary access. Here you have some of the orders that focus on the spiritual link between shuyukh and murids, and on the relationship among members of the order, known as Sufi etiquette, or what's known as the etiquette of companionship, adab al-suhbah. Number three, every order has its supplications, litanies, and adhkar, the specific exercises and daily remembrances that are observed in the daily life of its members. These are considered the secrets and qualities of the order, and such remembrances are a pillar of all the orders. Most of the orders hold group remembrance, dhikr sessions. Although these sessions differ in manner, some are held sitting and some standing, some in loud voices and some in soft tunes, some with tampering known as daf and some without. The verses and the poems chanted during the circle also differ depending on the nature and approach of the order. Another attribute in common among Sufis, among Sufi orders, they are rituals and traditions for entering an order and for climbing through its ranks, and they vary by order, from order to order. But the great majority agree on certain things, such as murid taking a pledge or initiation by an Arabic to the sheikh. Some shuyukh set stricter conditions than others. The murid pledge to the sheikh to adhere to a series of actions in their heart and their behavior. Another attribute in common among Sufi orders, lineage of the order. Every order has its own lineage, sanad, a chain of individuals who were instructed the order by their shuyukh, stretching back to the Prophet ﷺ. After the Prophet, most of the order began with Ali ibn Abi Talib, the Prophet's companion and son-in-law, except for the Naqshbandi order, which begins with our Caliph Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. The lineage of the order's authority then proceeds in succession until reaching its own sheikh, such as al-Rifai, al-Qadiri, al-Shazali, or al-Badawi, who receive the Sufi khirqa or Sufi mantle or cloak, and then the sheikh or the shuyukh whom those shuyukh license given ijaza or authorization to guide travelers on the path and receive bay'ah. At the sheikh of the order typically appoints the successor or successors who take up the order after him. Thus, each sheikh takes up an order vested by and with backing of the previous sheikh on the basis of the previous sheikh or shuyukh designation of him as his successor. There are multiple kinds of license, ijazah. Some shuyukh permit the murid to enter the order. Some permit murids to establish zikr circles and zawiyas, and some receive bay'ah from murids and guide them. To conclude, a Sufi order is the method for spiritual and psychological purification and specific path that a person travels on his or her way to God. Despite the differences among the main Sufi orders, they share a set of 10 needs, such as regular spiritual exercise, covenants and pledges of initiation and allegiance, whereof the initiatory clock called the khirqa, and a pattern of behavior governing the relationship between a sheikh and his murids and followers. For more information, see Muhammad Abu Rumman, Histories of the Sufi Order, the Community in Jordan and its Zawiyas, 2020.
السراي جاء في النوم وعقد الراي اللي متين يا مولاي السراي جاء في النوم وعقد الراي يا مولاي البداي بالأنزل القرآن أرجو الهدى واقهر أعداي يسير بسير ناس أباي اللي متين يا مولاي بسم الله في أول بداي بالأنزل القرآن أرجو الهدى وخر عداي وسير بسير ناس باي لمتين يا مولاي الله جاب النور على باي يا مولاي
centralized and decentralized طرق in Sudan. Historically, Sufis were organized into orders or groups called tariqas. These orders vary considerably in their practice and internal organization. Some are strictly hierarchical organization with directives issued from the top down, while other orders allow their local branches considerable autonomy. Several modern orders have become completely independent through shuyukh, who transformed the teaching of the original order. Ali Saleh Karrar, in his published thesis, The Sufi Brotherhood in Sudan, 1992, takes issue with the interpretation of the standard text on the subject terming Ham's Islam in Sudan, and offers a new typology that divides that history of the Sufi orders into two rather than three stages: decentralized and affiliated, and centralized affiliated. You find me agree with the late Dr. Ali Saleh Karrar in this division. That is, as I said, Sudanese Sufi orders is classified into two types, that is centralized turuq and decentralized nature of affiliated brotherhood, as we are going to discuss later. The decentralized turuq. The large decentralized orders continue to be an important part of Sudanese Islam. While they have made adjustments to local circumstances in terms of popular religious practices, they do not appear to have made significant adaptations, so orders to modernization. However, the leaders of these orders have found new roles in the more modern context, and this will probably mean that the orders themselves will continue to important parts of religious life, even if the fiqh type functions gradually decline. The leaders of this order represent a tradition that is more than the fiqh religion, and if these leaders maintain social prestige, as they seem to have done, the old tradition may survive through their heritage or through their prestige. Such was the view of Dr. Aman Muhammad al-Abeid in her study, The Samaniya Doctrine and Politics, 1997. The centralized turuq. The most important characteristic of this Sufi turuq is the Sufi scholar orthodox compromise. Also, they are influenced by Hijaz. Most of these Sufi orders are originated from Hijaz, and they are scholars in Sharia sciences such as Tafsir, Fiqh, Jurisprudence, and Hadith prophetic tradition. This is past their knowledge of Sufi sciences. This is beside their knowledge of Sufi sciences. Some authors classify the centralized turuq as new Sufi orders. The first to apply the concept of new Sufism was the Pakistani thinker Fadlur Rahman Malik, who uses it to describe a tendency towards reform under pressure from the Orthodox. What is distinctive about the 18th century New Sufi Brotherhoods is their outward-looking reformist orientation, contrasted with the older, quite mystical tradition. You find me here disagree with this point. That is, not all the new Sufi orders are centralized Sufi order in its very nature. This applies to Khatmiya, and that is turuq established during Turkish rule and post-independence. but not apply to Samaniya and the Tijaniya. What I mean here is that the Khatmiya and the other turuq that has been established prior to independence and during the Turkish rule, by the way, the nature of this turuq, definitely they are centralized turuq. I mean by this, the tariqa has only major center. The other khulafas of the tariqa spread out, for example, in the Sudanese cities and villages are directly connected and linked with the main office of the tariqa. So this is just what distinguish the Khatmiya and the rest of the Ahmadiyya branches. And in addition to Hindiya, Azmiya, all of these turuq, Burhaniya, all of these turuq, by the way, and it is very essence of its establishment, they are centralized Sufi orders. The Samaniya at its beginning, at its establishment earlier by Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayyib in 1766, we can come to describe it as a centralized tariqa during the lifetime of Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayyib. With his passing away and with the coming of the second generation, the Samaniya moved to the status of decentralized tariqa, putting in consideration that the Samaniya, in addition to Khatmiya and Tijaniya, they were described as new Sufi movement. So just here, what I would like to stress once again, that not all the new Sufi brotherhoods were or are centralized tariqas. And this is just what I would like to clarify. And to clarify this point, which as I said, is showing or shows that the Samaniya is decentralized tariqa since the second generation. To sum up, with the exception of the Samaniya and the Tijaniya, all the Sudanese major turuq that I have stated and presented in this episode consider centralized Sufi turuq. Samaniya and Tijaniya are decentralized Sufi orders. In a published paper titled Sufism in Sudanese Society, a study of the changing reality, the researcher Osman Sirajuddin argued that the case that decentralization is distinguishes rural turuq apart from urban Sufi orders, whereas centralization is a characteristic of urban Sufi orders. So out of the observation, we find that the decentralized Sufi orders is widespread in villages and rural areas. This is so very clear out of our observation to the spread of Sufi orders in Sudan, while the centralized Sufi turuq in Sudan is centered around cities. So as if it is, here we have urbanization of the centralized Sufi orders, while we have the rural areas is dominated by the spread of the decentralized turuq. The Qadiriya here is very significant example. Qadriya spread, by the way, spread across Sudanese villages and rural areas, dominated by the teachings of the Qadriya. This is from another side indicate that the simplicity of the principles and the simplicity of the methods of the Qadriya, by the way, has provided the tariqa to spread out and to find room across the Sudanese villages. As I said, this is due to its simplicity and it is tolerant way of reconciliation with the traditions and the culture of the masses, mainly in the rural areas. The distribution of the Sudanese Sufi Turuq. In Sudan, there are over 40 orders, as we have stated, and have been emphasized by researchers and historians in the field, the majority of which cover a large geographical area. Each tariqa has a center of spread in a certain geographical location. For example, the Qadriya order has adherents in center of Sudan and the Nile state region. The Zamaniya order is found in central Sudan and north of Durman, and the Tijaniya order is widely distributed in Darfur, Shandid, Damar, Al-Ubayd, Khartoum, and Durman. The Khatmiya order is found in eastern Sudan, the north, and Khartoum north. The rest of the Sudanese major Turuq, such as the Burhaniya, is expanding on most Sudanese cities. Ahmadiyya, Badawiya, and Azmiya also have effect out and have spread in cities, Sudanese different cities and towns. The Hindiya Sufi order is spreading in Gadarif and other cities and villages in central Sudan. The doctrines, the awrad, azkar practices and rituals of these major turuq will be handled in another episode, preceded by the contribution of these Sufi turuq, by the way, in terms of its contribution to society, religiously, literally, scientifically, and socially. So all these features of the Sufi order in Sudan will be discussed in our coming episodes.
ويا فعال يا سامع منا يدعان الله
وجب الغدم وضده محال تقدس اسمك يا متعال.